Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bums Breakdown. As always, my name is Max. We are always joined by Dylan, and we do have a brand new guest today, Chip. Chip, we'll go to you first. I do want to get your opinion on that last game versus RGV, the 3-2 win there. What you kind of thought throughout the game, and kind of how did you, what was your opinion kind of after it?
I think it was a good game for him. I liked the fight, the comeback, uh, not totally losing it during that scuffle, because I felt like a little Oakland vibe, a little, you know, one of those games, that could have gone trashy. But they kept the vibe, and I think they started connecting. Toomey started connecting with a couple goals. He might have been man of the match, for that game, with a couple of goals. So that was good. I mean, it's good to see them start to connect. And I think it was good for the fans, after the week's news, and just to we weren't too down after the comeback, and we were just so up when that last goal went in,
Yeah.
and just biting nails to finish it off. So it was good. It's good
Yeah,
for everyone.
yeah. I think obviously I know kind of we know how kind of games can go this season. Obviously, being up 2 goals and then to drop those 2 goals in quick succession. I mean, their first goal they had was a great finish. I don't think we could have done anything about that. And then for Stoneman to come in, give away the penalty, I think everyone kind of sunk a little bit and thought, okay, same old Loyal here. We're pretty much up 2-0, drop the 2 goals, and we're going to kind of either draw this game or lose this game. And I know Dylan, your prediction last week with the one or draw. Did you think kind of when that second goal went in for them, it's kind of same old Loyal here?
Yeah, absolutely. I was happy to be wrong for the record, but I think it would have been hard not to feel that way, especially after Chip alluded to the difficult news this week. I think it was, we all at the watch party at Gossip Grill were pretty emotional, and I have to imagine that the players probably are as well. But yeah, it was great to see the bounce back. In the commotion Saturday, I didn't realize how quickly we responded to the penalty goal, the second goal we conceded. I think it was like less than 4 minutes when Toomey scored our third. So that's great response. Haven't seen enough of that this year. So not a perfect performance by any stretch, but sometimes you got to win ugly. And also, I think 3-2 on the road has been like the bulk of our away wins is the 3-2 final score line. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I think you will go back to that Miami game. I think that was another one that was 3-2. Can't think off the top of my head another one that we ended up winning there. But like I said, it's very often we'll obviously go up by a goal, 2 goals, and then just kind of capitulate come the end. I mean, right now, obviously fifth in the Western Conference, level on points with Oakland with a game in hand, 8 points off first, and then the second most goals scored in the whole league. So we must be doing something right there. And Dylan, I know I always ask you kind of your expectations for the rest of the season now, but we'll go to you, Chip. For you, like, has your kind of expectations throughout the season changed too much? Kind of where do you think we're going to finish when it comes to kind of the end of the season?
I really don't know. I'm hoping we can do a top four because I'd love to see another home playoff game, especially with the news and all that. I think it'd be good for the city. Um, we could. I just haven't seen them be dangerous when they need to be lethal when they need to be, right? And we're starting to see it a little bit. Toomey connected twice last week, once against New Mexico with some slick passing and some, good time runs. But too often, against OC or against Memphis, we had more shots against Memphis than they did, more on target, but they still, Memphis still won 1-0. So when is the chance that Loyal's gonna like connect that fourth pass or connect that fifth pass and the shot? Um, that combination that is absolutely lethal. When we watch the good teams play, SAC, San Antonio, Man City, they take that and they run with it, and they don't miss when they shoot at the king. Because when you miss, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing for us. I mean, we always speak about kind of good performances here and there. Kind of, I guess we don't really win ugly for the most part. And I mean, I would say I'm somewhat surprised that we have again scored the second most goals in the whole league. And Dylan, for you, I mean, do you think things are finally kind of clicking now as we get near the end of the season, or is it kind of too early to say on that?
I mean, it's hard to. Yeah, I do think you can't really say that, but it's hard to say it's too soon when there's only 9 games left. We just really haven't shown any consistency. In our last, just take our last 5 results. We have our win against RGV, but then we had a draw, a loss, or rather flip those, or whatever it is. You get my point. Is just like we can't seem to string wins together. I think the last time we won a series of games was 3 in a row, when 2 of which were Colorado Springs, and then the other was Hartford. So it's kind of like at some point you're going to have to go on a run. I mean, look at Orange County. They looked like they were dead and buried. Now they've won 9 of 10, and they are probably going to have a home playoff game because they don't seem like anyone can stop them.
They
So
beat Sac in Sac.
Exactly, and that was in front of 20,000 plus as well at an alternate stadium. So, are they the real deal? I don't know. I haven't watched enough of them. But anyway, this isn't an Orange County podcast. But my point being, Loyal have absolutely not shown the consistency required. And as much as I hate to say it, I don't really see where it's going to come from. I mean, it's a tough run of fixtures here. You've got Birmingham at home, but then you go to Charleston, go to Louisville, go to Monterey. Those are all tough games. So they're going to have to, pull something together. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. I mean, we kind of spoke about OC earlier in the season. They had a horrific start, went ahead and sacked their manager. And I look at them now, they've kind of gone on this massive run to be where they are. And I think they definitely deserve to be currently where they are in the table right now. But I mean, like I said, going off that there, we've got Charleston, after this one, Louisville. I mean, we finished the season with Las Vegas, Oakland, and El Paso and Monterey again. It's, I mean, like I said, there is never any easy games in the whole of the USL. But again, if we want to be kind of finishing the season strong, potentially with a championship, we've got to be beating these teams. And I think for the most part, we haven't really beaten too many big teams when they've been on form as well. So I think that's been kind of the painful thing to see for the most part. It's just that kind of lack of consistency for the most part. We will go over the Birmingham now. Right now, they are 7th in the Eastern Conference with 11 wins, 3 draws, and 12 losses. Currently with 38 goals for, 44 against, with a goal difference of -6. Last 5 games for them, 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. They've also done the double versus Louisville and Tampa. Obviously, 2 big Eastern Conference powerhouses there as well. They recently drew 1-1 with Sacramento. I will say they're only 4 clean sheets all season. So again, they do great at the back, but they do seem to score in most goals there. Dylan, I know you said you mentioned you've watched a few games of Birmingham this season. Kind of, how would you say they fared, and kind of are they kind of expected to finish around that kind of 7th, 8th kind of last spot in the playoffs?
I think if you told people that's where they were going to finish before the season, that I think Birmingham fans would have told you that is a bit disappointing. But I think given the way the season's gone, I think they're looking at a road playoff game in the first round. But honestly, 4 through 7 in the East are only separated by 4 points. So you never know. But they've had a really weird season. Sometimes they will turn in a performance that's absolutely dominant. Like you said, they did the double over Tampa, did the double over Louisville. If you any other team you say that about, you're like, oh shoot, they're going to be like top of the East. But then they go and lose some silly games like 4-0 away in Indy. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a road trip, but I mean, come on, Indy are not having a great year. They lost 4-1 at home to Oakland. They lost at home to El Paso. So they've had some weird fixtures. I don't know. They're kind of a chaotic team. When it works, it can work really good. Enzo Martinez, I don't know. He's kind of a funny player for me because like he's got this big bushy beard and he just doesn't look like he's the most athletic dude, but then he just pulls off these insane passes or shots or dribbles and you're like, oh, okay, all right. But I don't know. They play kind of a chaotic style that when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. And as you said, only 4 clean sheets this year. So hopefully we can add to our second league leading goal tally.
Yeah, I will say if I was a betting man, I'd probably go for both teams to score in this one here. Kind of looking over the lineup, I mean, I think speaking of guys with bushy beards that don't look very athletic, their goalkeeper, Van Okel, every time I see that guy, I just think they've kind of dragged him from the stands and put him in goal. And he's a decent keeper. I know he's been around the USL for a while. I mean, aside from that in the team here, obviously you touched on Enzo Martinez right now. 10 goals, 6 assists. Nico Brett here, 10 goals, 2 assists. Prosper Kasim as well, another kind of great attacking player for them as well. And then I think we mentioned too, kind of Juan Agudelo, 4 goals, 4 assists, most chances created for them. And again, a former US men's national team player there too. So they have some good players in the team, but like you said there, Dylan, they're kind of all over the place as far as kind of a consistent team, which I guess we've already touched on. Loyal aren't that as well. So I'm hoping for a good game. Obviously, hoping for a win come the end there. But again, they aren't. They're a team that we should be beating. But again, a team that could easily go ahead and beat us too. It's like I said, there is never any easy games in the USL. I think this matchup will obviously go to show that as well there. As far as kind of Dylan, how they play, would you kind of be able to summarize anyway how they play?
Yeah, I mean they definitely try and get some love through the wide spaces. Tyler Pasher, I think we haven't confirmed this, but we were talking about in the pre-show. It sounds like he's probably injured because he hasn't been playing since the end of July, and I really don't see any reason he would be playing if he wasn't injured. He's a great wide player. Prosper Kasim, though he plays centrally sometimes, is great out wide. Nwegba's a good winger as well. Enzo Martinez is good in wide spaces. So they really look to dominate those wide spaces and channels. But like I said, it's kind of a chaotic game for them. You see a lot of like weird things happen. Like in their game against Detroit City, their most recent game, both of their goals were like very questionable penalties, but also they like two of Detroit's goals were own goals or something like that. So stuff like that just kind of seems to happen kind of regularly to Birmingham Legion. So I don't know. That's the best I got.
Chaos ticking out. I think I saw one of the Detroit's goals from about 40 yards out as well in that game as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
A lot of the goals in that game were kind of scored early on. And then we'll move into our lineup here. I know we've spoken about before, and I think we're kind of slowly getting closer to that kind of main starting 11 here. Chip, for you, kind of looking at our last lineup here, anyone you kind of take out from that last game, or you think we're pretty much going to go kind of the same way into this Birmingham game?
It's hard to say. I think Damas probably got to start away just to keep him fresh and to, and he played well. It's hard to say if he'll be in there or if Conway is going to bump him out to be that 9. He does have the most goals on the season. The team seems to light up when Conway's out there. I'd like to see Conway up top. Maybe Joe comes in for Guido. I'd like to see Toomey keep doing his thing. I mean, he's connected in New Mexico, RGV. He's doing his Toomey thing. It's time. Sorry, Toomey time. That's what I'd like to see. But what Nate does is what Nate does. So
yeah, the predicting the lineup I think has been pretty much our bane of our existence so far this season. It's been so tough to predict it. Obviously, good to see Elijah back in the lineup here as well. I know definitely we weren't expecting Damas to be starting this last game too, but obviously back in the score sheet for him, I think he definitely could have got another goal in there as well. And Dylan, for you, kind of, would you do kind of similar changes here? Kind of Conway back in, possibly a Conway Damas together. What would you kind of expect for this game?
I mean, I'd love to see Conway and Damas play together. I know that there are questions raised about how that would look, and I will be honest, I don't really know how I might do it either. But I just think they're both good players who give you different things, so there really should be a way to fit them together. But whether or not this team, as it's constructed, can kind of give them the structure to do what they need to do is kind of another question. But I really don't think you can. If Conway's fit, I don't think you can keep him out of the team. I mean, I think somebody made some post on Twitter or Reddit. I saw that Conway is like currently on pace to break Kyle Vassell's single season scoring record for San Diego Loyal, which I think was like 15 goals or something like that in all competitions. But anyway, so you can't leave Conway out of the team. But I also feel like Damas would be hard done by to be dropped. So I don't know. Maybe you play them in a true 2 up top with Toomey in behind them. You don't force either one of them out wide or like down, to drop. You just put up two number 9, see what happens. Like, I don't know. I know this isn't Football Manager, but I would like to get both of those guys on the field. I just think they're really talented, and I don't see any reason they couldn't play together.
Yeah, I think that's been our main thing. We've obviously got a lot of good attacking players in there, but very rarely we've seen kind of a Toomey, Damas, and Conway together on the same pitch, and all in their kind of best position. I mean, it's been tough for that to happen. I mean, Conway's pushed out to kind of wing back at times. Damas primarily can only play down the middle. I know there's probably, I think, the San Antonio away game played out on the wing for a little bit. But like I said, just the way we play, it's very tough to get everyone in their kind of best position, and kind of everyone working towards kind of the main thing. I mean, we know Guido's come back in for Corona there. Guido did play kind of in that Toomey role in the previous game before the RGV game, but whether kind of Guido's best suited into that kind of one of those midfield three roles, I don't know. But for me, at least, I think Corona comes in with Guido there. Whether Guido comes out and we go with the midfield two and the front three, I'd like to see that a bit more attacking. But who knows? I think as far as the back line goes, I know Simba had a knock recently. So I think probably those back three of Guzman, Stoneman and Elijah stay as they are. But I can't really think of anyone else who can come in there right now, or at least out of people who are kind of fit and healthy. And then moving on to kind of the key matchups and things to look out for here. I pretty much got in kind of the first home match after the news of last week. No doubt the atmosphere at Torero is going to be great, and I'm obviously hoping for a big crowd there. Main thing here as well, Conway back in for Dharma, so can they really work together in kind of in the team? And then hopefully plenty of goals in this game, ideally more for us than them, but I think it's going to be a very open game, which is obviously great for us to see. Chip, kind of what are you expecting in this kind of home game after the news from last week?
I'm expecting a win. I think the spirits from the road trip against RGV were good, and they're coming home with 3 points, and that's a big deal. We need to claw. We need to get all these points we can get. You know, a game in hand doesn't mean anything unless you win them. So, you know, this is a team that we can be lethal against, and we need to be at those times. I'm expecting a 3-1, 4 or a 4-2 type of game for Loyal, something like that. I don't think it's going to be a clean sheet because they've scored goals, but they also give a lot of goals up. And now that we're starting to connect a little bit, that could happen multiple times, and I hope that it does.
Yeah, I think definitely be a good game for a neutral watcher. I mean, maybe not so for us up in the stands, but obviously if we get the win come the end, it'll be all right. And Dylan, for you, kind of anything else to add on the matchups, kind of things to look out for in this game?
Yeah, I think Chip kind of, to add on to what he said there, I think like, you know, we started to see some signs, and like if ever there was a time to go on a run, I mean, this would be a pretty awesome time just from a storytelling standpoint, if not from being a loyal fan standpoint. But yeah, I hope the team's heads are in the right places. I think is really the thing I'm trying to get at. I know I've heard that I guess the club like doubled their win bonuses for these last few games, which is great. You know, and some of these guys, if they want to continue to have careers, which I think a lot of them absolutely can, they're almost playing for their next contract. You know, a lot of these guys are high value USL players. Some of them I really do think could go to the next level. So yeah, it's just kind of, are their heads in the right places? And evidence from the RGV game would suggest that yes, they are.
Yeah, I think it's kind of this kind of figuring out the motivation of each player. Now, obviously, we've got guys like Darmus, Mushkalusha, who are on loan again, will have a contract after the season. Haven't got to worry too much about what goes on beyond the season. But again, you've got players here who are kind of maybe nearing the end of their careers. They still need kind of another team after this. And again, the younger guys here too, maybe who've been in MLS, who kind of need that additional chance, like Perez and Bodley, who probably can definitely play in the next level. So hopefully, I mean, the motivation's in the right place. Everyone kind of work together now, and kind of Nate can kind of, I guess, get everyone on the same page really for these last games and to finish off the season strong. And then to wrap things up here, predictions, Dylan, I will let you go first here, as you are currently the prediction leader. What are you predicting scoreline for this game here?
Tied for the lead with a resounding 1. But the tiebreaker, of course,
you've got 2 here. Don't forget about that. You took the lead.
Did I?
I believe you did.
Oh, well, I'll take it then. All right, with a resounding 2. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to go with the 4-2. I hadn't really thought much about this beforehand, but when Chip said that earlier, I was like, ooh, that sounds like a good prediction. So apologies if I'm stealing that from you, Chip, but I'm going to go 4-2. I'll go Conway with 2, Damas with 1, Toomey with 1. And then for Birmingham, I will go Brett and Martinez.
Okay. And Chip, I don't know if Dylan's already gone ahead and stolen your prediction here, but what are you predicting for this game scoreline?
I'm thinking a 2-goal. A 4-2 would be great. So I'll say that. Can't tell you who's going to score. I'm hoping our guys do it. You know, Conway, Toomey. If Guido's in there, he needs a bag one. But you know, as you're talking about, like, you know, is this going to happen? this news has like I think changed the mindset. It's not like can we go as far as we can this year, and if not, there's next year because there is no next year. It turns it into almost like a tournament style for them. Like this is the last time this group's going to be together. It's the last time they'll represent for this city. If they take this the right way, it could blow up. I mean, but again, we've seen it not too, you know. So it has that potential, and I hope we see that, especially in these last 9 games.
Yeah, I think obviously touching on kind of how we deal under pressure. I mean, you go back to kind of our last two playoff games we've had, the kind of the Oakland one and the one before, I believe, San Antonio. And again, we just never seem to do well when the pressure's on us there. So it's hopefully for once the pressure can be turned into kind of a good kind of I guess motivation, I think, really. But I think for me, obviously 2-4-2 predictions. We'll go 3-1 here. Still a 2-goal cushion there. I'm hoping for Conway back on the score sheet, so I'll go with 2 goals for Conway. Chucking Toomey again, and then for them, we'll probably go over Nico Brett there as well. But to wrap things up here, Chip, anything else to add to kind of what you're looking forward to in this game?
No, I'm just hoping to see everyone out on Saturday or Sunday, right? It'll be hot, but I think we can endure that, and I think we're going to be very grateful for whatever minutes and whatever goals that we see. So we're hoping to see a big crowd and lots of noise and a win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, 4 games left now at home to see out. Hopefully, another home game if we do get a home playoff spot. And Dylan, for you, anything else to add?
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys, you've kind of hit it all. Like, come out, have a good time, be loud, bring your friends. We're not going to get too many more opportunities to do this. Hopefully, it's not going to be too hot Sunday. There's not a lot of shade in that stadium, so wear your sunscreen either way. But forecast currently says mid-70s, but you never know. But yeah, this actually is my second to last home game because I will be away for most of September. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to make the most of this one. Get out there early for setup, go to pregame, and then just have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a 3-day weekend, Labor Day after that. I mean, no excuses to get out to the game. Like I said, I'm hoping, at least for these last 4 home games, we get pretty much a sold-out crowd. Everyone's loud and kind of, I guess, more so celebrating San Diego Loyal than kind of, I guess, being upset that it will be the last year. So hopefully the crowd's in a good mindset. Everyone's positive. I mean, I kind of get 4 wins at these last 4 home games, but we'll definitely see. But again, thanks again for watching or listening, and we will see you guys very soon.